And so every time this dude gets in trouble, they pay everybody off to make sure he ain't going to jail. And so this is an untouchable man, and he got all these villains around him, and then he ended up in an interview with this girl who works for the network. And so she starts joining him with some crazy questions, and he says to her, he says, you know what, if you really want to know what my life is like, you need to follow me around. You need to be a part of it so you can see how much crazy stuff comes to me that I got nothing to do with. And so she's like, I ain't doing that. I'm married, I got kids, I ain't having my little groupie following me around the clubs and such. But her boss was like, hey, this dude's famous. He's the hottest dude in Atlanta. He's an up-and-coming star. Follow him around, see what happens anyway. And you already know she started following this dude around, and all kind of crazy stuff happened. And so I'm going to grab some of the safe part of the book, because I don't want to tell y'all all the great dramatic scenes and stuff that's in it. Well, it's definitely movie material, and they got everything in there. They include the killings, because these dudes are serious, okay? And so I'm going to read the safe part of the book so you guys can get a gist of how your life can spin around when you out in the limelight and something happened that you trying to defend yourself with. All right, here we go. Where you going, Mom? I thought you said today was cleanup day. Marlon Jr. asked his mother an hour later after they had started cleaning up the house. Judy was dressed and ready to head out the door. But they were only halfway finished cleaning up their house that day. And they hadn't cleaned this feverishly in months. I had to make them run, Judy informed her oldest boy. He didn't need to know any more information than that. It was grown folks' business. And she was about to go out and handle it. So she headed to the backyard to tell her husband too. He was back out there blowing leaves and collecting them inside of several hefty trash bags. A tedious all-day process. Under the circumstances, however, Marlon didn't mind. It allowed him to focus on something other than his wife, Alexandria, and her co-workers, and all the mess that he had gotten himself involved in. I need to make him run, Judy said to him. Marlon Jr. stopped and seemed to stop what he was doing and looked confused. What, something came up? He asked his wife. Yeah, she answered with a nod. And that's all he needed to know too. Marlon backed down and mumbled, all right, you're not about to do nothing reckless, are you? He wanted to ask his wife, but he had no idea what was on her mind. He didn't trust it. Nevertheless, he was in no position to question it, so he let his appositions go. Judy marched out the front door, climbed into a car, and hit the road toward Georgia Tech's campus. Probably won't even see this girl down there, she mumbled to herself as she drove through the clear and sunny weather. If I looked at a few private investigators, maybe they can find out where she is. I'll call them up on Monday with a bunch of questions and ideas on her mind, and no home football game or basketball game to jam up the traffic in Atlanta. She got down there pretty quickly to Georgia's campus, Georgia Tech campus in Midtown, faster than she expected. And then she parked on Georgia campuses. They jumped out of the car with flashing lights. Could you step out of the car, please? She opened her eyes and climbed out of the driver's seat while still shielding her eyes from the flashlights that they were shining at her in a dimly lit garage. Well, you just inside the Greek Cafe, ma'am? A young campus police officer asked her. Yes, I was, Judy admitted. There was no sense in lying about it. More than a dozen people saw in there, including the manager. And you just assaulted a young woman with a computer? The police asked her. She threw it at me first, Judy protested. Next thing she knew, officers were calling for backup. Shucks, cursed herself. Now what have I got myself into? Now that's just one of the passive scenes. Right. That's one of the passive scenes because some of the stuff that go on that I ain't even going to write about. But when you get in that situation where now you're a celebrity, you can't even defend yourself. Because when you defend yourself, they write more stuff about you. And if you trip them or hurt them or push them, God, oh, now they got the case money coming. Oh, it's just crazy. So now they can write anything they want, and you got to take it and say, oh, I ain't worried about it. I'm talking about they can write fighting words about you, talking about your mother, your sexual orientation, all kind of stuff. And so she just want to go there and put out to the girl, I know somebody paid you to write this nonsense, but that ends up happening. And then when that happens, here come the cameras, and now she got a job, and the job gonna tell her, you know better than that. You gotta rise above the emotion. And so this is what's going on when people give all acts. They have tougher skin than we all believe.
We have two brothers here. One is from Houston, Texas. The other brother is from New Orleans.
What's going on, Father?
And so they're here for the Million Man March, and so they wanted to purchase the book.
Oh, thanks. Let me sign up. Thanks. Oh, cool, man. thanks for the love. And a lot of times the people that you want to write books about are not ready to do it. Okay? And so I did an interview with Cicely Tyson last year in October, and I outlined her whole life story, and she has a long life story. She's 82 years old, but she's still not ready to write her book. She's still acting, still doing new things, so I can't write the book without her, so that didn't fly. Floyd Mayweather Jr., I outlined 2 books for him. Okay, one about his life story and one on sports and marketing, because he has put the sports marketing world on his head. And now with that, all I have to do with the sports and marketing book is spend one day with him and get quotes from him on different marketing aspects that I already put together. I call it the 12 rounds of sports marketing from Floyd Mayweather, because it's boxing and it's 12 rounds. So I have 12 chapters with 12 quotes and 12 topics that he can talk about. Easy to do. But Floyd Mayweather, I can't go to him talking about no book. I ain't got enough money. You know, Floyd is laughing with the kind of money he made. Hey, I can give you another $1 million. You know, he like another $1 million. I can go to the toilet with $1 million, brother. What you talking? This dude make. So I gotta come to him and say, hey, man, it's part of your legacy. Maybe you can endow your kids with the money, or you know, something else. But that's another book that I want to do. Allen Iverson's book. I've been wanting to write that forever. But we already know Allen Iverson is a very volatile dude. And it's hard to get him to sit down and do anything. And his lawyers told me that back in 2000, got a part of the Dodgers. And he jumped. And so we seeing dudes right in front of us that we saw come up as basketball players that just went up and up and up. Now we're seeing rappers going up and up and up. And so I'm looking at the same thing where I'm about to grab it and go. Now, I ain't gonna have the money they have. I ain't gonna be nowhere near the money. But if I got a few million, I'm good. Yeah, I can live with that and continue to control the things that I want to do as an author and a writer for our community, the things that are important to me, including that urban literacy project. Okay, so that's why I'm working so hard now, because I know I have an opportunity to seize the time. You know, as the old head said back in the day, seize the time. That's what I'm doing right now on the entrepreneurship. At this juncture, if you guys have questions, I'll answer any questions if you got one in the back.
I wanted to know what I guess were some of the stumbling blocks that you may have encountered with the big publishing companies that catapulted you to decide to control your own, do your own company and control your.
Well, I talked earlier about the genres of black publishing going to basically over the last 10 years. 3 different types of books: street lit, black erotica, and Christian. We always want to have Christian because we have people that they don't want to read the other stuff, they just want to read Christian. And so those 3 genres. Now, when I came in, we had science fiction from Octavia Butler, we had mystery from the because they're like, I can't sign you and you don't make no money and I'm losing my job. So they scared to death. And so now, even the money they used to get, we just get good money. Now it's way down here. And so when I came back in after, you know, a 7-year hiatus where I'm trying to get into the film game instead of writing books and whatnot, the publishers looked at me and said, Omar, you ain't been out in 7 years. They don't know who you are. We don't know how you're going to sell. We're not putting our money behind you right now. You're not getting the money we used to give you. You still owe us money from the last couple of books, right? You don't even advance it. And so they were like, if we do put this book out, we'll put it out next year and we'll give you a little chump change for it. And at that point, I'm like, I got a movie coming out where I may make $1 million next year, and they telling me that they don't believe in what's happening with me, they don't believe in my skills. And so I said at that point, you know what? Even if I have to grind from the bottom, knowing that I got that Fly Girl movie coming, that's like having the biggest dude in the hood on your, and you about to jump in a fight, and you know you got a Hercules coming. You start talking, so I'm like, okay, the heck with that. I'm going to go ahead and do it myself. I've been in the business for 20-some years. So I understand, as Jay-Z said, I think I can sell a few records. Right? So I'm like, I think I can sell a few books without, you know, them dudes, because I know the same people they know. So on the first year, all it's about is getting your economics right. You get your economics right, the second year, I will have no problem in 2016. So all this right here, I'm telling y'all right now, when that Fly Girl thing hit, then I'm going to keep it coming with OTI. And so it was just a masterful timing of momentum to jump in there and do it. Okay, now how many people saw that movie straight out? The first article they published, man, it was a major story because at that time we had like the Persian Gulf War or something crazy like that. And the whole question was, should women be allowed on the front line, right? And
Every night before bedtime, I change the channel on the TV. I find a cartoon or something funny to see. I tell Chris put on her PJs, brush her teeth one more time. She says, Daddy, one more hour. Would it be such a crime? So we agree on half an hour. I tuck her in for the night. We say our prayers and she'll always ask, we have to turn out the lights. But she says, now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. But when I close the door, she peeks under the bed. She checks the closets and the windows, and she forgets what we said. She imagines ghosts and goblins, haunted houses and tombs. My little girl can't sleep, 'cause there's monsters in her room. There's monsters in her room. Well, I've told her time and time again that there are no monsters and ghouls, but there are angels all around her. And she laughs and says, cool. But when nighttime comes around, her cool fades away, though she tries hard to remember the prayers we said that day. But don't laugh or tease her. How could you remember when you were little? You were afraid to. But she says, now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. But when I close the door, she peeks under the bed. She checks the closets and the windows, and she forgets what we said. She imagines ghosts and goblins, haunted houses and tombs. My little girl can't sleep, 'cause there's monsters in her room. Well, I pray that one day when she really knows God, that she'll overcome all of her fears, and she'll face life's challenges with courage and strength. And she'll know when she prays, God hears. But she says, now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. But when I close the door, she peeks under the bed. She checks the closets and the windows, and she forgets what we said. She imagines ghosts and goblins, haunted houses and tombs. My little girl can't sleep, 'cause there's monsters in her room. There's monsters in her room. They're in my baby's room. There's monsters in her room.
Beautiful.
Feels better. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, yeah.
Rah, wigga. You know? So it's a fun song, it really is. You know?
And you said how much?
They're only $5. They're only $5. Everything's like $5.
Come Jordan.
The Street Story series is a really
These will be nice to look.
So
How much is this?
$5.
Oh, but that's the color. Yeah, you have to.
She said, atta girl, be like mommy. I land Oklahoma in the heart of the wheat field land. I got a few head of cattle and a pickup truck. I'm just another hard-working man. Well, I got a pretty little wife who told me she'd love me through the years. That's why it hurt me so bad this morning when she came to me in tears. Well, she sat me down in the kitchen chair and she told me what was on her mind. She said this lifestyle wasn't for her no more. She was leaving this farm behind. Well, a horn was blowing and she turned and said, it's nothing that you really lack. I just don't want a man with a pickup truck. I want a man with a Cadillac. She said, I don't want a man with a pickup truck. I want a man with a Cadillac. One with a big old leather chair. You push a button and you slide him back. CD player and the cruise control and that life-saving air sack. But I don't want a man with a pickup truck. I want a man with a Cadillac. Well, all I saw when I got to the door was that big red Cadillac. I heard the powerful engine and the dual exhaust kicking dust all out the back. Well, I grabbed my gun and I got my keys to that dirty old pickup truck. But I caught myself when I realized it wouldn't start, not with my luck. So I sat for a while and composed myself, cause I knew I had to find my way. Then I went to the shed and I dug up the box I was saving for her birthday. Well, in the box was so much money, I couldn't believe my eyes. All those years that I'd been saving, I never would have realized. So I got the truck started and I grabbed the cash and I went on a shopping spree. And I grabbed up the gal at the 7-Eleven that was always hitting on me. I got the truck at the dealer's lot. She patted me on my back. She said, son, I got just the thing you need. How about a brand new Cadillac? She said, I don't want a man with a pickup truck. I want a man with a Cadillac. The one with the big old leather chair. You push your button and you slide them back. CD player and that cruise control and that life-saving air sack. But I don't want a man with a pickup truck. I want a man with a Cadillac. I didn't know just what it took to keep you. I didn't know our love had gone so far off track. Well, I didn't know just what it took to please you. Cause if I'd known, I'm sure I'd gone out and bought you a brand new Cadillac. Woo! She said, I don't want a man with a pickup truck. I want a man with a Cadillac. Woo! The one with the big old leather chair. You push a button and you slide them back. CD player and the cruise control and that life-saving air sack. But I don't want a man with a pickup truck. I want a man with a Cadillac. She's on trial for murder. Now, what makes a person snap? You know, I could write the craziest stories in the world, and it's nothing like what we get in real life. Exactly, because some of the stories that you hear. I wrote a story in the animal shelter. It's the newest one I did. The next one coming is jury duty. But the animal shelter, I heard a story the other day. A guy went and bought a pit bull, takes the dog home, dog bites up his daughter. I mean, you can't even write that kind of story. But I use that in my story because it's so ridiculous. For one, we know that pit bulls, everybody says, oh, they get a reputation, whatever. This is an animal. And, I mean, you take it around a small child. The best thing to do anytime you get an animal is to get it as a pup or a baby, and you raise it and you teach it what it needs to know so that, you know, so you can train it. At least you stand a chance. If it goes nuts, then, well, you know, anything can happen. But, you know, each of the stories, depending on what the topics were, I tried to, especially towards the end here, make it cater to women. Now, I did the maternity ward because I know a lot of you done had some babies and sat in that maternity ward. You could probably tell me some stories. Now, I sat through my daughter's birth and my son's. It's an ordeal. And so she's back in ICU. I think today, I'm waiting for her. What's she telling me?